What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Siege Voyager class Megatron. And as you can see, we're starting off in his vehicle mode, which is a Cybertronian tank. Maybe I think this is classified as an H tank because it has like the H-shaped treads. And taking a closer look here, you can see there is some like scuffing and battle damage throughout, which I think is pretty cool and works for Megatron and his character. Since he, it's like a warrior and a gladiator, and it makes sense being a tank. And something cool about this is the other side is fairly clean. You can see his head and his chest, but it doesn't look too bad. But there are actually you can't really see that, sorry. There are actually rolling wheels, which is nice, instead of just, flat plastic like sometimes they do. So it rolls pretty nicely. And then a little bit of articulation in vehicle mode. Since it's a tank, you can swivel that 360 actually all the way around. So you can have it facing that way, or you can have it this way. This is actually how it's supposed to go. And so a little bit of playability. The turret can't go up or down, but I think that's all right. But there is actually a kind of secret and extra conversion that you can do for the turret. Basically just take off the front cannon piece, which is actually the sword, and then flip around the fusion cannon from robot mode. And then you have this tank. And so now it can go up and it can swivel around as well. So that's pretty cool. It looks nice, actually. It doesn't look like bad or anything, but it's not the official mode, but it still looks good. And since we're already basically transforming it, we might as well actually transform it. So first, you're going to want to basically just untab these the front tread parts, and then hold on, let me adjust the camera. And then fold up this gray part, and then untab the back treads from the waist, because those are going to be the legs. And the snapping noise is kind of scary, but it hasn't broken yet, and I've had this figure for 6 years or so, since it's from Siege, which is a kind of old toy line now. And then you're going to want to swivel around. I'll show it on the next leg. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to untab, or basically just fold out this piece of the leg, and then just swivel around the leg while also folding out like the knee. It's kind of complicated, but kind of it's a cool transformation, but it's kind of weird to do. Then you're gonna fold it out, bring that back up and fold it in so it makes it solid. Flip up the feet, angle them a little bit so it's not just straight out. Flip up the heels if you can. Then swivel around the waist. And then for the upper half, this is kind of a little bit difficult, but not really. You're going to want to basically just extend that, bring up the front treads to make the backpack. And then there's going to be little tabs in there, and then tab holes right there. They don't really fit together that well, but they go in enough. And then you're going to want to unpeg the cannon from the left arm, I believe. Yeah. And also fold this back around because I had it folded around. But it's supposed to be like that. Then just bring around the shoulders like so. Then flip down these little parts right here at the shoulders on both sides. Flip out the fists like that. And if you did the regular tank conversion, you have to flip around the cannon, but it was already flipped around because of what I did. So like that. Then bring down the backpack, and then just position his head so it looks normal. And here we have Siege Megatron in his robot mode, which looks really good. Honestly, I like it a lot. Looks really good. Some people don't really like it that much. Some people do. I think it's pretty much the definitive Megatron figure until the Bumblebee movie Megatron came out, which I'll show in a second. But I do think this is probably like the definitive G1 looking Megatron that we've gotten, because everything else has just been kind of like iffy or big or awkward in some way. So this is a really good rendition of the design, despite being siegified. So there's like a ton of scuffing and battle damage and dirt all over him, much more than probably any of the other figures, I'd say, because he has it like on his head, he has it on his chest, his shoulders, his arms, his legs. It's everywhere. So, but the paint still looks nice. I mean, I like the battle damage, and there's not much paint, obviously, because it's not really premium, so it's mostly just like the gray plastic, the black plastic. So, for articulation, he has a ball joint at his neck, or his neck, so he can look up that far and down that far, but he can go even further just because of the way the transformation is. You can make his head go all the way around, but it's kind of uncomfortable, so I don't like to. So he looks that far and like that far in both ways. Then he has a swivel at the shoulder, up and down, a bicep rotation, and then a elbow bend. Nothing at the wrist, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess kind of makes sense just because of the way it's made, but that is still kind of upsetting. And then he has a waist articulation, but it's also hindered by his backpack, so you can still get it to like pose, but you know, it's still kind of just in the way. Then he has a swivel at the, or rotation at the hip. And you go back up that far and back that far. You can move the backpack a little bit and get it to go further, but that's how it goes, how far it goes stock. A hip rotation right there. A knee bend, which is, I think, is like a perfect 90 degrees, so that's nice. And then an ankle tilt that can go out that, or go down that far. So, fairly posable. You can't do a ton, but he can pose in certain ways, so that's nice. And then, other than his fusion cannon, he also comes with this sword, which I already transformed, but basically you just want to, it's like this for vehicle mode, and then you just flip it up and around, and then it tabs together, kind of, not really at the front, but it becomes a sword. So, that's cool, looks nice. Or you can make it so you can put it on his arm, because it's also a cannon, so you can have it on his arm or have it on his shoulder. And also, you can take off his fusion cannon, and then you can combine them. And this is actually a thing in the instructions. It basically just, it becomes like a giant cannon on his shoulder. Give me 1 second. You're supposed to like fold that out, and then it's like this, I think. So that's interesting. It's something you can do. And then for some comparisons, here is Siege Optimus next to him. Let me straighten them out real quick so it's like a true comparison, not just like they're bent down or whatever. You saw this if you watched my last video with Siege Optimus, you would have seen this, but if you didn't, here is the comparison between the two. So they scale well together. Obviously they should, because they're, you know, enemies and they're in the same toy line, so you would hope they would scale well together. And also, one thing I did forget to show in Optimus's review, so let me just give him a little bit of screen time. You can, it's not that big of a deal, but you can combine the shield axe thing with the gun, and then it's like this big gun thing. So it wasn't really important, but it's just something I probably should have talked about. But yeah. And then for another Megatron comparison, here is the Bumblebee movie Megatron. So he is a leader class, which is why he's bigger than the Voyager class Megatron. So they're obviously very different, so they don't really look that good together, but it's nice, it's cool to see different Megatron designs next to each other, in my opinion. So I do wish he came with like a sword or something like that, but this is a great figure. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Megatron. He looks great in robot mode. That head sculpt is sword just touched the camera, my fault. The head sculpt looks amazing in my opinion. I like this head sculpt way better than the Earthrise head sculpt, which is why I think that the Siege Megatron mold, which is this one, which is also all of them, that's just the mold and the retooling and such, that has been used, what was it, 11 times, I think? There was some counter. Yeah, this mold has been used over the past 6 years. Oh, a lot. So, I think the original's the best, and if not him, then probably the, what was it, the Walmart exclusive one, where they were, like, cel-shaded. That one looks great, too. But there's been some good repaints and molds and retools of this figure, but it's just crazy how much it's been used. But this head sculpt is probably my favorite one of them all. The Earthrise one just looks weird and tall and awkward. I don't know what it is about it, but, you know, this one looks great. I do recommend it. I hope that the Studio Series 86 Megatron comes out soon, or is revealed soon, and so we can truly judge that one against this one, because that one should be better, and if it's not, that's weird. And let's hope, cross your fingers, let's hope it's not a retool or remold or anything of this. It's a brand new figure, because we can all agree this figure has been used plenty of times. So it's a good figure, but I think its time should be over. So thank you for watching. Like, comment if you want, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.